Out there today. Hey, welcome to the Tim Tucker's College Football Podcast. Got a really good show today. Today is about the history of the Big Ten. Some of you might be wondering, well, why in the world would you talk about that? Isn't that pretty boring stuff? Well, if you'd asked me that, 3, 4, 5 days ago, I would have told you, yeah, I'm good. I don't know. I don't need to hear that. But then you have the Big Ten this past week held their conference media days. All the teams met, and one thing what motivated this podcast was someone called by the name of Coach Signetti as to what he said at the media days this past week. This is going to be like a two-part podcast. This first part here is basically going to break down here the history of the Big Ten. So, any idea? Any idea when the Big Ten started? The origins of the Big Ten. When did it start? I thought, well, it's probably been, I don't know, maybe the 1920s, 1930s. No, incorrect. The origin of the Big Ten started in 1895 to 1900 with just 7 teams. I mean, some of the teams in it are still today. Teams like Purdue, teams like Northwestern, Illinois. But there was 7 teams around that time frame. In 1889, a school by the name of IU joined. And then in 1912, now during this time frame, there was a period of time where Michigan had dropped out. Let's just say maybe their negotiations fell through. But Michigan had dropped out. So you had, and then I think there was a team called the University of Chicago. They dropped out. So then you had Ohio State. Well, IU joined in 1899. Then the Ohio State Buckeyes joined in 1912. And then, and at this point, I don't believe it was called the Big Ten. Then Michigan comes back around in 1917, and then there's another school added by a team called the Iowa Hawkeyes. 1970, for goodness sakes. And their names, again, was the Iowa Hawkeyes, which that formed the Big Ten. When Iowa joined, they became the 10th team. So after 1917, you had the Big Ten schools. Then kind of fast forward the clock, 1947 was became the Rose Bowl era. You had the Big Ten champion. What started during that time frame, you had the Big Ten champion that would play against the champion of the Pacific Coast Conference, like the Pac way back, Pac-8, Pac-10, Pac-12. So basically those teams in that period of time, they were on the West Coast. And you had the Midwest. So the Big Ten teams would play there in their season. The Pac-8, 10, 12 teams would play. All these West Coast teams, they'd play in their season. So each year, there'd be a champion of the Big Ten and the Pac-12, and then they would meet at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, I believe. I know when I was, started in my age time frame in the 80s and 90s, it was always Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. But that started in 1947. Then, if you fast forward a clock to 1990, so up from 1917 to 1990, it was just 10 teams in the Big Ten. Why was that? Because there was 10 teams in the Big Ten, which they came out in 1917, Big Ten. Pretty genius concept. But what is even more genius is in 1990, they added another school, a powerhouse. They had become a powerhouse, the Penn State Nittany Lions in 1990. I knew Penn State was in the Big Ten, obviously, but I didn't realize that they'd been in the Big Ten 36 years. 1990, holy cow. But they added Penn State. So then it became a thing. Well, we're going to keep the name Big Ten, which again, Big Ten Conference. I'm like, it's kind of genius if you look back on it now as to what the Big Ten has become. But in 1990, Penn State gets at it. So it's not the Big 11. It's Big Ten with 11 teams. Then that brings us to, 1990 till 2011, 21 years. It's still just 11 teams. But then in 2011, we add another powerhouse, who was really a powerhouse in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Another powerhouse was the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Legend coaches by the name of like Tom Osborne, a legend coach. Look him up. Google him. So 2011, the Nebraska Cornhuskers gets added. So now is it the Big 12 or the Big 10? It's still, they say it's the Big 10. In 2014, 3 years later, they add 2 more teams, Maryland and Rutgers. So now I'm thinking, I remember all this going down. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, they're probably going to finally get rid of the name Big Ten. Nope. They keep the Big Ten. They keep it rolling. So 14 teams for quite a long time. Not until 2024 when, 2021 gave us opened it up to the college players to start getting paid. And then since that time, man, Big Ten, SEC, the 2 main conferences right now have been expanding like no other, really. And as what happened in 2024, the Big Ten even expanded 4 more teams. The University of Oregon, University of California, USC, University of Washington. So now in 2024, we had another 4 teams. Is that the Big 18? Nope. Still the Big 10. So 18 teams in the Big Ten now. And so I'm going to wrap it up here. So that's kind of the history, the origin of the Big Ten. And look for the two-parter here on the podcast. The next one's going to be kind of what led to the motivation here as to basically what Coach Cignetti had said at the media, at the conference media there a few days back at the Big Ten Media Days. So, all right, other than that, have a good one.